Hey kids, what is up?
What is up?
I thoroughly appreciate you joining me today. If you clicked on this video, I know it's not as exciting or riveting as most of my other videos probably are, so thanks for being here. Looking forward to hanging out. Very different from what you normally see from me here. I have no script. I don't even have an outline. I was gonna write an outline so that I don't forget to tell you anything, but then I forgot to write the outline, so we're literally just gonna talk off the cuff. Going to riff a bitch. So I don't know what the title of this video is going to be yet, but there's a chance that you already know the big news that I'm going to share with you, which is that I am moving to Nashville. I'm currently in St. Louis, Missouri. Actually, I'm like 30 minutes west of St. Louis in a town called St. Charles, but I say St. Louis because it sounds cool.
Why? Because it sounds neat.
Born and raised here, never thought I would move or do anything, but something has happened to me in the last, I feel like when I turned 35 and I started getting therapy, massive things in my life have changed. And what's funny is that she's not actually a therapist, she's a nutritionist. I started seeing a nutritionist named Erin Darling, who I highly recommend. She's helped me lose a lot of weight, but she's also helped me like change my entire perspective on life. And I feel like so much of my weight loss has actually been mental weight. And it's just been shocking what I've learned about myself, about my relationships, about my life, and life in general. There's been a shift. So I've always wanted to leave Missouri. Like, I don't hate it. There's nothing wrong with Missouri. But I never really saw myself here. Like, growing up as a little kid, I pictured being like a musician or a stand-up comic or an actor or something. And that never really seemed like you do that here. But I have pretty much stayed all of these years ever since becoming an adult and getting this job as a YouTuber where I could work from anywhere in the world. I have stayed out of guilt. I feel bad leaving my family. And so that's kind of where like the therapy I've been getting has come into play, because she really helped me see like you don't have to stay here to make other people happy. And she said something so profound to me one time, like last year. She was like, you can design whatever life you want. And I was like, what? I don't think I can. I think that would upset everybody. And she's like, okay. So much credit to her for helping me get the cojones to make a change. Also, my husband, he has been begging me to leave. He like wanted to move to Europe from day one of dating when we were 19. And I was like, no, everybody would be really upset about that. We can't just do that. And he's just been begging me for many years for a change, an adventure. So it's happening. So we were kind of torn between several big cities. There's LA, there's New York, there's Chicago, Nashville. All of them have a decent music scene. All of them have a decent comedy scene, which, by the way, those are the things I'm wanting to pursue. I'll get to that in a minute. And to me, like, Nashville or Chicago were the two top contenders because they're both 5 hours-ish from St. Louis. And it's just like, I figured that would be kind of the easiest for my family to accept, the easiest for me to come home and visit. It's just like a nice stepping stone. So I went to Chicago by myself. I did some stuff with the Second City. I explored the city. I liked it. I don't know. I just didn't feel like this is my home. But I think since like September of last year, every time we would go to Nashville to record music, we would leave on this high, and I just kept feeling like this feels like where I belong. Not that I think it was fate or destiny or anything. This gut feeling kept drawing me there. And every single person I've met, like every comedian, every musician, every just random person at a coffee shop has been so down to earth and so instantly comfortable and so interesting. I think all the people I've met there are very interesting. Many people there are artists, and it felt like my vibe. So a friend of mine gave me his real estate agent. I got in touch with her, immediately loved her. Her name's Lisa Landon, by the way. If you're looking for a place in Nashville, she is your gal 1000%. We started house hunting, and I was like, well, let me just see what's out there. And it was just like every time we went and looked at houses, I was just getting more and more thrilled and excited to be in Nashville. So that's what we're doing. In fact, Nick is right now, as we speak, loading things into a U-Haul. It's getting real. And I'm down here filming and not lifting a finger. Yeah, so we're moving to Nashville. Also, Nick has been vlogging, like he's been vlogging the house hunting process on his channel. It's been really, really fun. Like I taught him everything I knew about doing YouTube. I showed him how to edit. For a while, I was like doing the final cut of all his edits, but now he pretty much has the hang of it. And it's been really cool to see his style of how he does things. It's similar to mine with inserts and sound effects and movie quotes and memes, but he definitely has his own flair. And that's been really exciting to watch him like become a creator. He's always been a creative person, but it's cool to see him experience like the beginning stages of doing YouTube like I did 9 years ago. So if you want to see the house hunting, you can see our whole, there's a tour of the house we bought. Definitely check out his channel. So moving on to like what is going to be happening once I get to Nashville. I don't have an exact hard set date of how long I'll live there. I mean, right now I feel like 1 to 2 years, but I'm not going to put any restrictions on myself. I'm not going to put any deadlines on myself. I'm going to see what happens. As you guys probably know, I do have music coming out this year. So the first thing on my list is getting all my music videos and all the content and stuff shot for my EP. The creative part of that, of making music videos, oh my gosh, it's like a passion that I have been waiting for my whole life since I first got that JVC camcorder at 12 years old. It's like the ultimate form of... I have to answer this in case it's about my dog.
A few minutes later.
Sorry about that. My dog is also having surgery today to add to the chaos. I've had heinous anxiety about her for like 5 straight days, and the hardest part was dropping her off this morning and leaving her there, and she looked back at me like, "Are you seriously leaving me here?" And I cried all the way to get the U-Haul. But I feel calm now. I talked to the vet. She made me feel better. Anyway, what were we talking about? Music videos. Yeah, just the whole creative process of working on this EP, planning out the visuals for the music videos and the album artwork and the lyric videos and all of that is just a whole other creative muscle that I haven't really got to flex in a while. It feels like I'm making a film, like telling a whole story. The whole EP, it's 4 songs. I think there's going to be 1 bonus track, and they all kind of tie together and tell a story. It's the first time I'm ever actually telling you guys my actual story. A little bit. I'm subliminally hinting at things, but I think you're gonna get the point. And it's been really cool, really vulnerable, but really creative and really just inspiring. And it's another thing that has honestly changed me. So I'm gonna be putting my music out. I'm super interested in doing live music. I know I was not interested in that for the longest time, and I've even told you guys before when you would ask, why don't you put music out? I would always say like, I don't really want a music career. And in hindsight, I realize now that that was all based in fear. I just had absolute fear of failure, lack of confidence, didn't think I could write music. I knew I had stuff to say, but I didn't really know if I could make it into a song. Fear of doing things live was so paralyzing. I feel like over the years I've become so reclused and so introverted and so like lazy, literally lazy, that the thought of sharing art in that way in a live setting, I was like, forget about it. That's too scary. That's too much energy. And there's been a lot of things that have contributed to pulling me out of that. One of them was doing that tour, the Just Okay tour, which funny enough was a stand-up tour, which is the other thing I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But doing stand-up was so incredibly scary and so far out of my comfort zone that now nothing scares me. That was such a wonderful experience, and I'm so glad I went ahead and booked, because again, so much fear was surrounding that. Fear of, can I sell tickets? Fear of annoying my viewers who didn't want to hear about it anymore. I'm always afraid of making people mad. Fear of forgetting my material. Fear. I just did it anyway, put my big girl pants on with the support, of course, of Nick and my manager and everybody that was involved in it. Now I kind of feel like I could do anything. Why are we out of focus? What's going on? Do we not have facial tracking on? This is not a mood. And that was kind of funny how all of that happened. I remember coming off of tour thinking I didn't like stand-up, and that meeting you guys was the only part I liked, and that the actual like performing of stand-up didn't do it for me. I didn't like walk off the stage with this high that I thought comedians were supposed to feel from making people laugh. It was like the nerves and everything outweighed that. However, as time has passed, I have a little more clarity, and I realize I think what I didn't like was the pressure I put on myself to do everything perfectly and to memorize over an hour of material. And it was funny because the touring company, when they approached me, they were like, we recommend that your live show feel very similar to your YouTube videos. And so what you guys are used to is seeing me talk to you, I make jokes, I make you laugh, and I add media like sound effects and memes and this, that, and the other. So I added all that into my live show, and that made it infinitely more stressful. I couldn't quite be as loose and conversational as I wanted because I had to make sure I hit all these exact cues for this slide to come on the screen, if that makes sense. So again, it raised the bar, and it was so much more difficult than just good old-fashioned stand-up, that now normal stand-up comedy is less intimidating. And I also noticed, even though I felt like, I don't know if stand-up's for me, like I didn't get a high from it, yada, 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 I did notice how proud I have been. I learned where my strengths were. I learned that I can do crowd work. You know, I have some instincts when it comes to that. How could I have known that until I did it? Definitely learned where my weaknesses were also. but it's fine. I learned what I loved about stand-up. What I really, really love is that it is the most connected to my audience I have ever felt, because you're literally in a room joking around like your friends. I don't want to stop doing that. Which brings me to my next point. I think another reason I have held back so much in my life, like I said, I'm always worried about like pissing people off, which is silly. I'm working on it. But I feel like there's a weird stigma when it comes to a YouTuber or somebody who is known as a YouTuber or influencer branching off and doing anything else that like makes people mad for some reason. In fact, the last time I mentioned that I'm putting music out, I got a comment and the girl was like, "Oh, great, another influencer putting music out. So exhausting and sickening." Exhausting and sickening. Can you imagine being exhausted and sickened by that? And I knew comments like that were coming, and opinions like that, because I've watched it happen to so many other creators who wanted to put music out or wanted to do stand-up. I don't know the reasoning behind it. Like, I don't know why you would ever want to box somebody in, but I'm aware that that's what happens. Even when I went from doing beauty to commentary, I mean, I lost like a third of my audience. Like, people were like, "You can't do more than one thing." Oh my God. That's so strange to me. Like, what if someone said that to Will Smith or Justin Timberlake, you know, who are multi-faceted? Where would they be if they had listened to those people? Actually, this is a very bad example. Barbra Streisand, how about that? Imagine if someone told Barbra Streisand, "No, you're only allowed to sing. You can't do film," or vice versa. Where would we be? We wouldn't have Funny Girl. Don't box people in, all right? And if you are one of those people who's like mad that I am branching into other things, maybe it will help you feel better to realize that you have been a part of why I'm doing this. My viewers, you guys have no idea how much your support and encouragement and your words, positive and negative, how much that has pushed me and helped me realize that there was life beyond editing for 12 hours in my basement. This is like such a collective group effort, and you are a massive part of it, even if you don't like me. Am I an influencer? Like, do we still use that word for all creators at all on the internet? Because to me, like, what I'm doing is commentary and comedy. But if you do a brand deal, you're labeled as an influencer. But like, if an actor does a brand deal, they're still an actor. What am I? You guys tell me. So my just not wanting to deal with that and not wanting to be labeled as like another influencer who put music out, that was in my head a little bit, and now I just literally could not care less. And I think when you guys hear it, you will probably understand. Like, roast me if you want. I'm prepared for the roasting, but at least listen to it. And read the lyrics. And you might feel differently, who knows? Or maybe I'll become a meme. I'm prepared for that. The internet is just so strange. It's like there's so many people sitting on their couch doom scrolling their phone that want to tell you to hide your talent under a bushel. How dare you create art and share it with anyone? You're a YouTuber. Isn't that weird? And I know that a lot of YouTubers have been, you know, it has been a cash grab. It's been very low effort, just designed to go viral. Like, you don't see any actual passion behind it. So I get it. That's not what's happening here. Nothing that I have written was designed to go viral on TikTok. This is like a real story. Not that there's anything wrong with the former. This is a passion project. This is what I actually wanted to say and wanted to tell you guys. And I wrote my songs in a way that I feel like everybody is going to be able to relate to. So I'm hoping it's going to feel kind of like a therapy session when you listen to it. Anyway, I don't know how we were talking about stand-up and then we started talking about music, but both of those scenes are really prevalent in Nashville. I guess that's what I'm getting at. There's not a ton of opportunity for me here. There's a ceiling, I feel like, to how far I could take it, but there, I just want to dive into it. I really want to do a lot more stand-up, do as many gigs as I can. I want to get a lot more comfortable with it. So far, I've done it just enough to not love it, whereas if I can just get in there and do the reps like I'm working out a muscle, that's what I want to do. So if you're in the Nashville area, or if you just really like me and want to travel, please come to a show. You guys know I'll let you know when they're happening. All of the like therapy and self-reflection and everything I've been doing over the last year, I mean, it has affected a lot of things. It obviously starts within me, but it has affected my relationships. I mean, there's been changes between Nick and I, changes between myself and my family members, literally starting to wake up and realize that you're not responsible for other people's happiness, and that like I can say no to things I don't want to do. All of those adjustments have just been kind of, I think, a little bit weird for everybody, myself included. And I have not mastered it yet. But I've taken really big steps. I'm kind of proud. It's interesting too to realize how responsible I have been for all of this. If someone asks me to do something and I say yes, even if I don't want to, it's then not fair for me to resent the person who asked me. Does that make sense? And that's been a learning curve too, is I'll sit there all like huffing and puffing and be like, I can't believe how many favors. Everybody asks me for favors 24/7. And Nick's always like, yeah, but you say yes, you do it. I know, but I'm still upset. And it's so weird how far-reaching people-pleasing goes, like to the point where you don't even realize it's happening. I people-please all the way down to the most minute instances in life that you would think, surely I would have some sort of autonomy for myself, and I didn't. And who knows, like, how resentful of a person I would have become and how bitter if things had continued the way they were. So I'm learning. I'm still consumed with guilt. Like, this move has been, I would say, like 50% exciting and 50% just I'm consumed with guilt. Some people are excited for me, a lot of people aren't, and so that has like, it puts a damper on it a little bit. I understand it's a hard adjustment for everybody, but we're gonna get through it and it's gonna be great. We're gonna have so much fun, and you guys are gonna be with us, which is really cool. Nick, of course, is also excited. I mean, he's a musician too, as you know. He's recorded several songs that I can't wait for him to put out. He wants to do live gigs. He has a really cool series on his channel called Cover to Cover, where he sits down and interviews a local musician, kind of hears their story, and then each person that he interviews picks a song that they want to cover. They tell the story of why they love it, and then at the end, he plays the guitar, and of course the singer does the cover. And I thought the title of Cover to Cover was just next level clever, dude, because it's like a story cover to cover and then they're covering a song. Stop it right now. So if you're interested in that as well, I'm so excited to see where that takes him. He's talked about getting like an RV and traveling and doing it. And the really cool part about all of this that I am just so thankful for every day is that you guys are going to be with us through all of this. Hopefully. If you want, you can totally say no, it's fine. Anywho, that was a lot of talking about myself. Wow.
That was a lot, Robin.
I feel like that was everything I wanted to update you guys on. Also, though, like, I feel like I don't say enough how thankful I am for my viewers. I sometimes think it goes without saying, but I need to be better about that because, like I said earlier, you guys are a huge reason that all of these things are happening. You guys and, like, the people in my real life that I know in person that have supported me. Genuinely, if I didn't have you guys and this platform and so much support, I would still just be like spinning my wheels wondering when my life was gonna begin. Like the girl from Tangled. Is it Tangled? Can't remember. So again, many thanks if you watched this. I'll be back to my normal content in a jiffy. Oh, and to answer your question, we are not selling the house we live in right now. A lot of you were like, you just moved in there, like what are you doing? I absolutely love this house. This house has been such a blessing. I wish I could pick this house up and put it in Nashville. It's in an amazing spot. Like, I don't want to lose this house. So we are going to be renting it out. Okay. I think that was everything I wanted to tell you. I'll be in the comments section too, asking questions if you guys have any. Don't forget to check out Nick's channel if you're interested in stuff like that. Oh, and also there are still a few of the slash tees left in stock. The white one I think sold out like right away, but the mild thing, You Make My Heart Sing, gray one is still around, as well as the black where the mild things are. Check them out if you want. Okay, I love you guys. I'm so excited. Thanks for watching. Peace out. I do a lot of parody songs, obviously. I always have. And I actually included funny songs like in my shows. And anytime I got to stop and sing, like pause from the actual like speaking stand up and sing, it was like my whole body would relax. And it was so much more effortless than the stand up part. So that was a light bulb for me too. I'm like, why am I not singing when it feels good to me to sing? I'm actually starting to like get anxiety about not singing. I want to sing 100% of the day.